Welcome back to the Weeb Lounge. This time around, I'm going to be talking about a long series, a relatively classic series, and that being InuYasha, an earlier isekai anime, I guess you could say, and an anime that I'm not sure if I love it, hate it, or somewhere in between. Now, InuYasha spans 7 seasons. Yes, 7 seasons. And each of these seasons can be like 26, 27 episodes. Some of them as short as 18. Basically, there's a lot of episodes. And unfortunately for that, there's a lot of filler too. Basic premise of the story is you have Kagome. Kagome is just your typical modern day schoolgirl living in Tokyo or wherever. And one day she falls into a well and is transported to another world. Down the well. Okay, it's an earlier anime. I'll give it that. It's fine. So she goes into this well, is transported to another world, and this is where she meets InuYasha, among many other characters, like Sango and Miroku and such. But InuYasha, the main protagonist, besides Kagome, is a half-human, half-dog, demon, powerful character that can live for a very, very long time, apparently, and has a nice sword, Tetsuya. Okay, well, these two end up banding together to go find out the fragments of the Seikon jewel. What the Shiken jewel? Shiken jewel. Oh, there's a lot of names and a lot of stuff in this show. Oof. Okay, Shiken jewel. It ends up getting basically blown up, fragmented, and all these fragments go all around the entire world, and they basically have a job of going around, collecting the shards, putting them all back together, and keep the chaos and havoc from spreading. Well, the thing is, this show starts to take on a DBZ formula aspect, Dragon Ball Z formula. And that basically means character is fighting and fighting, getting his ass whooped, has to get stronger and better, and then fights and becomes victorious, and then he finds the next battle that he's getting his ass whooped again, and he needs to get better and stronger, and then he ends up victorious again, and it keeps repeating the same damn thing over and over in fights that last a lot longer than they should. That's the basic premise of Dragon Ball Z formula. And quite honestly, I can't stand anime that follow the Dragon Ball Z formula, for the most part. So, you have Kagome, she's fallen in love with InuYasha, but you have Kikyo, his old flame, that is like Kagome is supposed to be the modern day reincarnation of Kikyo, who was supposed to have died at this point, but now they're both in the same world, and InuYasha has a thing for Kikyo, and he keeps bringing it up over and over and over, even though he's kind of sort of dating Kagome. It's one of those things is like, Kagome should just smack the living hell out of InuYasha and be like, hey, I'm here now, Kikyo, that's your ex, I'm the one now, hello. Yeah, InuYasha just can't seem to get over it or through his head, he just dense as all hell, right? Well, even though this is an isekai anime, another world anime, Kagome, for the most part, can travel freely between that world and her home. She can go to InuYasha's realm, have a grand adventure, come back, and then go to class, right? Or sleep in a cozy bed in her room and then jump back in the well and go back to the other world and face death again, which doesn't strike me as appealing. And InuYasha can come to the modern day too, and it kind of makes me wonder, it's like, okay, InuYasha, you're there, you can come to the modern day and everything, live with Kagome and have all this technology and stuff and live out your life. I mean, there's that option too, instead of living medieval times and boiling stew in a giant gas pot, and hopefully you don't die of dysentery or something. Which is your choice? Oh, I don't know. I like the clean air of ancient death. Okay, whatever. And of course, InuYasha has his, I think, older brother? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's older brother, Sasamaru, who is a dick. Pretty much. I mean, he has redeeming features. He finds this little human abandoned girl or whatever and kind of takes her by his side, and he ends up protecting her as in kind of a redeeming fashion. Ends up being a character you respect and like, But early on, he's just a dick. He doesn't like InuYasha for the sheer fact that there's some human blood flowing in him, basically prejudiced against it, and causes a bunch of trouble. And InuYasha got Tetsaiga, which was meant for him, but Sasamaru's mad about that too. So Sasamaru is basically just jealous, and being a dick. That sums it up. He's as powerful as can be on his own right. For the most part, can whoop InuYasha's ass. This whatever. I was trying to make an analogy there and I failed. Yeah. Sasamaru is overall more powerful than him too, or at least on par. So what's the big deal? So he's just basically a dick. But anyways, you got 7 seasons of this anime, and for the most part, I enjoyed it. But the thing is, we watched the first 2 seasons, and you see everyone grow and develop and mature. And then you got like seasons 3, 4, 5, and 6 that is pretty much just filler. I mean, it really is. There's not much that I've watched every episode of InuYasha there is, and I really cannot remember much of anything about any of these seasons. It's all fight this guy, do this, get better. Fight this guy, do this, get better. Oh, I found another shard of the Shikan Jewel. Here's another shard of the Shikan Jewel. Hey, this wolf guy or whatever is causing trouble. Smack him around a little bit. Okay, he's a friend now. Yeah, there's really not much going on there. And I found myself kind of being really bored. I mean, I wanted to keep going, hoping it would get better because the first 2 seasons were pretty good. And then after that, it's just like... And then season 6 ends, and they stop. They don't conclude nothing. It just comes to a screeching halt. Why? A few years go by. Oh, we'll go ahead and mop it up with season 7, and we'll throw that out there. And season 7, yes, it does conclude everything. It puts Sango and Miroku or whatever, they get married, have a kid or whatever, and Kagome and InuYasha, they're obviously married, and everybody lives happily ever. I guess in this case, since it's another word, it is ever. But it kind of wraps it up in this real haphazard fashion, and it almost seems rushed. I mean, it's a 26-episode season, I think, something along those lines, but it still feels rushed. It's like they tried to take, like, a lot of the storyline that they just kind of glossed over or made filler to avoid, and bam, here it is, right in your face and go. I have to say that more or less the ending, they did the typical anime ending where they left it kind of open to interpretation. They never said InuYasha and Kagome are actually married. They just kind of let people assume that. Why does it need to be an assumption? Why do we need to be like, okay, she went back with InuYasha, she's training to be a priestess or something. Why do we have to assume that when you could kind of just spell it out, give us some more detail, and be happier for the characters? I mean, seriously, fans of anime, we want details about our characters. We want details about the storyline, the plot line. The more we have to assume, it seems like the less that we really enjoy it, unless it leaves on a really, really good arc, right? I don't know. The end of season 7, I just didn't feel fulfilled for all that time I have spent watching that show. So I guess you could say it ended on a disappointment, at least for myself. Some other people might find it very fulfilling. I didn't put much interest into it, sadly. So I guess you could say, is this an anime that I love or hate? It's an anime that's there. I can't say that I love it because I just lost interest the more it droned on, and the reason before it not concluding, like in a definitive manner, I guess. It kind of did, kind of didn't. And for all the filler episodes and then following the DBZ formula, I liked it, and then it just tapered down, like those graph charts or whatever. Just okay, yeah. I just lost interest toward the end. So it's not an anime I can say that I love. Not an anime I can say that I can hate. It's an anime that I can say it wasted time when I needed to waste time. And that's kind of how I view the whole show. Love it or hate it, it is what it is. And with that, like, subscribe, hit the notification button. We're doing more videos like this, hopefully a little bit better, because InuYasha is, I don't know. But we're doing more videos, and we'll see you in the next one.